Hello everyone, and welcome to another exciting installment of Valhalla Game Plays. I am your host, the mad scientist Miles Loward, and today we will be doing something a little bit different. In the screen you will be seeing me playing the rest of Knee Deep in the Dead. I felt like we needed to expedite that, so IDDQ&A, IDKFA, you'll see some very interesting weapons being used. Project Brutality, you know, Stuff the Mod, if you will, has a lot of really cool stuff, and you'll be able to see that. But aside from that, we're also going to do something very special. I want to do a little Q&A with my co-host, Andy, aka Sergeant Savage. So I have him here today for a little bit of an interview. Say hi to everyone, Sergeant Savage.
Hello, everybody. How you doing, Miles?
I'm doing excellent. Yourself, sir?
What?
Are you doing good today?
Oh yeah. I'm doing great. It's a good day.
Legit. So close to Christmas. I'm excited. I hope you are too. So I wanted to ask you, could you give us like a little bit of an introduction to what you're all about?
Okay. I'm Andy McLaughlin. I was born in California, and we moved to Colorado like 10 years ago now. Wow. And let's see, I'm all about video games, I'm all about exercise, I'm all about, you know, the ladies.
By the way, Sergeant Savage, aka Andy, is single, so any of you ladies want to hit him up, I'll leave his Facebook in the description. Anyways,
Okay.
continue, sorry.
Man, what else? That's pretty much me.
Cool, man.
No, so we've been working on characters that we're thinking about using.
Indeed. I was wanting
So should I talk about that?
Yeah, I was wanting to ask you about the origins of Sergeant Savage. Like, how did you come across that name, and what is Sergeant Savage, you know, what does he represent?
Okay, so Sergeant Savage was a G.I. Joe character that they made in the 90s. And he didn't do too well. He didn't last very long. He didn't get too popular. And the backstory of Sergeant Savage was that he was a World War II soldier who was captured in World War II when one of his teammates, one of his squad, betrayed him, stabbed him in the fucking back.
It's crazy.
It is. What's crazier still is that this teammate was working with cybernetics and robot shit. And so after that, they take Sergeant Savage and they start doing experiments on him. And for whatever reason they abandoned the project, they leave him abandoned until about 1994, and he's frozen. And so G.I. Joe finds him, and they thaw him out, and they find that now he's got all kinds of powers. You know, he's super quick, super strong. He's got all this super strength. And he can like punch through a steel wall and shit. He was an extremely badass character, and I was really big on that toy line when I was a little kid. I had all the guys. I had Sergeant Savage, and I had, you know, his Screaming Eagles. That was the name of his team. Yes. And I think I had the vehicle too, the Grizzly. And I just thought it was a really underrated line of Joes, and the name really stuck with me, and it seemed like the kind of name that would be suitable for the Doom guy. So that's why I ultimately decided to go with that name.
That's awesome. I could definitely see Doom guy being named Sergeant Savage. He is pretty brutal, to say the least. On that same line, tell me a little bit about your obsession with G.I. Joe. Like, how did you get into it?
Well, I don't exactly know how I got into it, because for as long as I can remember, I've been into G.I. Joe. Since I could think, basically, I've been into G.I. Joe. And I started playing with G.I. Joes when I was a little boy. And unfortunately, the Real American Hero line ended in the 90s, like not too long after I got into it, which really sucks ass.
Indeed.
But fortunately, there was this other line of toys called the Core, and they were basically a ripoff of Joe, so they filled the void for a little while. But then then G.I. Joe started to come back in the 2000s, and then I got into collecting again, and for a long time I stopped, and just a couple years ago here I got back into collecting, and I have a shit ton of them now.
Nice. Like the old school ones, or is it like a redo?
I have a mix of both myself. There are the old school ones. They're the real American heroes. That's probably my favorite type. But there's also the 25th anniversary ones. Those ones are really cool because they have increased posability, and like you can easily take off their heads and swap one head for another head.
What?
So a lot of people take that and they use it to do customs.
Okay, that's kind of cool actually. I dig on that. My recollection of GI Joes were, you know, the ones that have like the omni joints. You could like move them in places that humans don't move, and they're really skinny, you know. And we would blow them up. We would attach, you know, M80s to those suckers and light them on fire and be like, "Soldier, it's time for you to go." It was nice knowing you know, and blow them up, and that was.
Oh wow, man! So you were like Sid from Toy Story, basically.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I never tortured an animal, but I definitely blew up, you know, a GI Joe or two. Sure. But it was the big kids, bro. It was the big kids that like had their GI Joes, and they're like, "Let's try this out, man. You want to see something real cool? We're gonna make plastic go everywhere." So yeah. So yeah. Anyways, so is it safe to say that GI Joe is your favorite TV show, or do you have like something else out there that you like to watch, or currently you like to watch?
I don't know. I don't really have like a favorite TV show. I watch all kinds of shows. Like, I loved the GI Joe cartoon show. I've watched the whole series. It's really great. And but other shows I like to watch are like, you know, The Office, Last Man Standing with Tim Allen.
Oh yeah, that show is awesome. I just recently saw that show. So good.
Badass.
Yeah, I saw the one where I guess he gets his son to teach the hockey team or something like that. And yeah. Anyways, yeah. TV, awesome. I understand that you're a movie buff. What is your favorite movie of all time?
Oh man. There's not just one. There's a million of them. Probably the best candidate for my favorite movie would have to be either Army of Darkness. I'm sure you've seen that.
Oh my god, of course, dude. Bruce Campbell is the shit.
He's the Doom guy. He was the inspiration for the Doom guy when you think about it.
You know,
because like I remember when I'd play multiplayer in you know, deathmatch and classic Doom, when you killed somebody with the shotgun, it would say that they met your boomstick or something.
Yes. That's awesome.
So you know that they took some inspiration. But also the other candidate for probably favorite movie of all time would probably be Demolition Man.
Really?
Have you ever heard of that?
Of course, Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone.
Fuck yeah, man! That was an awesome movie. Love that movie.
Every restaurant is Taco Bell.
Yeah. Okay. So quickly for the people who don't know what that movie's about, basically, it took place in the near future, which back in 1993 was 1996. So
was it 96?
They thought shit would be so advanced. And Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone have a fight. He's like a cop, and Wesley Snipes is like a criminal. And Sylvester Stallone captures Wesley Snipes, and you know, brings him in.
You gotta back up a second. They're like, he's cryogenically frozen, and then in the future, 3 years later, right? They thaw him out.
Yeah, this is before that happens. I was just about to get in that. So they have a fight in what was present day. And oh yeah, the future, when they get woken up from the cryogenically frozenness, that was even later. That was like 2050 or something.
Oh, okay.
And so yeah, so after he captures Wesley Pipes, they determine that they think that he blew up the building with a bunch of people inside of it, Sylvester Stallone that is. So he gets in trouble too, and so they cryogenically froze them both.
That's
which
right.
They thought in 1996 you'd be able to do that by then. So later Wesley Pipes gets unfrozen, and in the future everyone's peaceful and mild, and so they're not prepared for you know, an old school criminal. So they wind up thawing out fucking Sylvester Stallone, and that's pretty much the movie.
Right. What I love, one of the little tidbits I love about that movie is they did like a subliminal programming of them. So like they get a little thing that they learn, and of course Wesley Snipes, you know, the criminals hack him and give him all this like amazing advanced training. But then Sylvester Stallone's character, they fucking the government gives him the ability to knit, so he's like knitting and shit. Like, I thought that was awesome.
He gets all this advanced training, and I'm Betty Crocker, or says something like that.
It's so good. That movie. Oh my god, I'm glad you love that movie. For me, I think that movie is on. I don't know. Okay, so let me put this out there. I'm a media masochist. I love shitty action films, and the badder it is, the more I like it. So I mean, I'm on the same page with you. I love that movie, but it's not necessarily because I feel it's a good movie. I'm just throwing that out.
Okay. For whatever reason, when it hit me when I was a little kid, I was like, oh my gosh, that is the most glorious movie I've ever fucking seen.
Right,
so
right. I totally feel
think it was bad. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
But, you know, I can see how people would think it was bad. You know, Wesley Snipes was blonde. Didn't look right.
Oh my god. A great movie.
Badass, though.
Yeah, badass, I gotta say. Okay, so along the same lines, let's see, what is your favorite video game? Big question
let's
here,
see.
big question.
I would say, oh man, that's such a hard question.
Right.
It's gonna have to be a two answer, like with the movies. Okay, so my favorite video game would have to either be Final Fantasy VIII,
wow,
or Doom, obviously.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, I'd have to hurt you if you didn't mention Doom. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, man, there's so many games that I consider to be like my favorite game that I could not list them all.
Right. Well, give me a list of like your top 5.
Top 5. I can't even do that. I'll give you 5 I like. How about that?
That works.
Like Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Oh my god, yes, dude. Nintendo 64 at its greatest. Yeah.
Perfect Dark.
Also a great
That's
game.
an awesome.
Yeah.
Played the shit out of that. Okay. Time Splitters.
Yes, dude. Also, I'm in the same boat with you. Love that game. Love the story, you know. I've gone back and played Time Splitters 2 recently, and the controls are a little bit difficult, but, I mean, just the story is just so legit. I don't know.
I love the story of that game. It had an underrated story, not just because the story was good. I mean, the actual story of itself, it was underrated, but it wasn't great. But the story mode was so fun. I'd say that one had the funnest story mode of all 3 of them.
Totally. I agree.
2 more. I can't think of 2 more. Damn. I don't think I can think of 2 more because there's just too many.
Left 4 Dead? I don't know.
Left 4 Dead. That's another one. I've played that game so many hours. I've gotten so many of the hardcore achievements on Steam. You know, like Still Something to Prove, The Real Deal. Those are like the ones you get for beating every level on Expert and beating a level on Expert Realism, respectively.
Nice.
So yeah, I got hardcore with that game.
This man is a professional gamer, by the way. I don't know if you know. I get into like our little Doom server, and you know I'm hiding behind Sergeant Savage basically 90% of the time. Just throwing that out there. But
I wouldn't say you're badass, but
I try.
Yeah, I did wind up making the most kills in that first VGP we did together.
Indeed. Yeah, you know, no doubt, no doubt. I do respect you as a superior gamer. That's, you know, that's not me tooting your horn. That's just straight up facts, my man. So live with it.
All right, I'll accept it.
So let's see here. So we talked a little bit about Doom. What would you say would be your favorite episode of Doom?
Favorite episode of the classic Doom?
Yeah.
That would be probably the last one, Thy Flesh Consume. Man, that is such a good episode. Those were meant to be like master levels for Doom 1, so you can tell that they're definitely a bit harder.
Right.
And aside from the increase in difficulty, which I enjoyed. Hello?
I'm still here. I'm still here.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Oh, fucking shit glitched.
That's all good.
I've been out. Okay, I'll talk to you for as long as I can, but I might get cut off. I'll just warn you about that right now.
All right. Yeah, I can still hear you, so don't worry about it. I'll let you know. I'll hit you up on Messenger if I lose you.
Okay. So anyways, the reason why that one's my favorite is not just because of the increase in difficulty, but because I just like the style of the levels the most, too.
I totally agree. I think that Thy Flesh Consumed just, it has superior design. You know, they went back and made that after Doom 2. So it was like they had that experience behind their belt. I don't know who made that. Was that John Romero's line design or level design? I'm not too sure on that.
I cannot quite tell who made all those levels. All I know is that they were meant to be master levels and they're meant to be really hard, and they are. You can definitely tell.
Absolutely difficult. I mean, it took me the longest time to beat Thy Flesh Consumed on Nightmare because, man, number one, you don't get a lot of ammo. I mean, you're strategically like saving.
Exactly.
And two, man.
Even if you know all.
Right, exactly. And two, like, they start you off like enemies spawning and just like taking you out, man. It's like no mercy from the very beginning. You just kind of have to hide and pat people out little by little. But I
yeah,
really
that first level is crazy, man. Yeah. First level is so crazy. You're in that little room, and you got sergeants teleporting in because they're in this little place with a teleport, and they start walking around, and then they start teleporting like right in front of you, and you're in a pistol start, and you're dealing with shotgun motherfuckers, and you got no armor, and you got to spray with the pistol and pray.
Spray and pray, baby. I love that. Yes, that's awesome. What would you say would be, well, let's back up a sec. When did you start playing Doom?
Oh, wow. Let's see. Man, okay, so I was born in 1989, so I started playing Doom about when it came out. So I was like 4 or so when I first started playing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's insane to think about, but you know, people didn't think about like, oh, this game might be scary or stuff back then. And let's see. I think I started with the basic shareware version, like a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think I'm not sure if I played all of it, but I got into it. I played it. I enjoyed it. I was freaked out as a motherfucker, and then later. My parents, we went to like Walmart or something, and we got the Ultimate Doom,
yes.
Which came out, I think, after the shareware and the original version of Doom and all that stuff.
Right.
So we got that. I was playing the shit out of it.
Right. I mean, they did a couple things. You know, they changed a few things for Ultimate Doom. They made some things better. They removed other things. For example, what's the level that you and I just recently played? Was it E1M5? I can't remember.
I'm not sure, but I think I know where you're going with this. So if you don't mind, take it away. Okay, I think what you're going to say is they used to have that place that comes down from the ceiling. It used to be in the shape of a swastika in reference to Wolfenstein.
Exactly what I was going to talk about. Yeah, John Romero talks about how that was a callback to Wolfenstein, but people were like, that you can't do that, that's racist, and he got so many complaints they took it out. But I mean, come on, the game is demons and demonic and has like upside down pentagrams everywhere, like, and
exactly.
You know, if you're worried about a swastika, okay, come on, meow. But
yeah, and plus, anybody who knows it could tell you that it's a throwback to Wolfenstein. I mean, come on.
Right, exactly. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So yeah, that's cool. 4 years old, man. I think I was 9 or 10. I believe when I started playing Doom, and it was when it first came out. You know, straight off the shelf from Kmart. You know, shareware, which I thought was awesome. Let's see here. Okay, so Doom, we all love Doom. You know, that's why we do our thing. But as far as consoles are concerned, what would you say your favorite generation of gaming would be? Are you still there, Andy? Did I lose you? Maybe? I think so. Okay, we got Andy back there. I was scared for a second that we lost him for good, but he is back. Anyways, continue on your line of thought, man. What were you saying before you got cut out?
Okay, well, I might have been a little too young for Doom, because you're just saying about how I was like 4 and stuff. And I might have been a little too young because it was scary as shit. and I used to have these nightmares. I mean, I told you about the nightmare where you know, I'm on a stretcher and my family's carting me through the sewers, and for some reason pinkies get released and my family just leaves me behind, and I can't do anything because I'm strapped down. I'm like, no.
Dude, at 4, oh my goodness, that explains a lot about you, Andy. That's cool, man. Yeah, I definitely, you know, I talked about this a little bit in I think it was E1M2 about how, yeah, I mean, that game literally created a visceral response for me, like scared. The first time I had ever been that scared, and I would just throw on my headphones and like turn off all the lights, and my parents didn't know I was playing late at night, and I would just go through the levels. And what added to being so scary is my computer was like the bare minimum to run that. I'm talking like a 686 with like 256 megabytes of RAM, right? I'm barely running this game. So it would like, the frame rate was horrible, but when a monster would pop out, sometimes it would just instantly be there. And then you'd have fireballs in your face and imps and shit, and it was just scary as hell to me. But I can't recall any like nightmares, so to speak, but I could definitely see a 4-year-old getting nightmares from playing Doom. Well, so we talked a little bit about Doom. That's cool. I kind of want to segue a little bit into other realms of gaming.
All right.
So, what would you say would be your favorite, as far as consoles are concerned, what would be your favorite generation of gaming?
Oh, that would definitely have to be the PS2/Xbox/GameCube era.
Right on. So, like 6th gen of gaming.
Yes.
Indeed. My favorite as well. And out of those consoles, which one would be your favorite?
Probably, I would say that I got the most of my gaming experience out of the PS2.
Indeed. I was more of an Xbox guy, but you know, now that I'm older, I love the PS2. One of the best libraries in gaming, bar none. I mean, next.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I
love the Xbox as well.
Yeah, the Xbox is great. You know, I love the Xbox, especially, you know, being a modder and getting into like Xbox Media Center. I really, I enjoy tweaking with the Xbox, but as far as playing games, PS2 is just where it's at. You know, such a great variety, but then
Many good.
Yeah, some of the best RPGs ever. I mean, you mentioned Final Fantasy VIII. Come on, give me a break. Like that whole series was just incredible.
Yeah, that was actually a PS1 game, but the great thing about PS2 was you could play PS1 on it. And they don't do that anymore as much.
No.
It's more of a thing when they do that, you know, it's more of a special thing that they're doing for you. It's like, okay, if you get enough demand for this game, we might put it on the new console.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, for example, the Xbox One, it's just so ridiculous, its overall stats. I mean, you're talking about like a terabyte hard drive. What is it running, like a multi-core, I don't know, 3-4 gigahertz processor? I don't even know. It's running like 10 gigs of RAM. The thing, come on, you could throw in the engine to run Xbox 360 games, but instead they're like, okay, we'll code these popular ones to play. They did the same thing as the 360. It was like 4 or 5 games that were backwards compatible just because they had such a following, and I think that to me is bullshit. And where consoles are getting it wrong. We should, you know, their old games are relevant too. People love to retro game, and eventually, unfortunately, your console that you made prior is gonna fail. You didn't make things like they used to. I mean, shit, you could still go to the flea market and buy a Nintendo, and that shit'll run. But I'll be damned if you go to a garage sale and get a white Xbox 360 and that's gonna run. No way. They made those things horrible, and they just, you know, I seem old, like they don't make things like they used to, but I mean, it's really true.
In all fairness, I think I had 2 Xbox 360s die on me, at least one, and it was like, you know, not even old yet.
Right. Exactly. That's my point. You know, not even old yet. Yeah, I dare say that within the next 5 years there won't be one working white Xbox 360. I'm not being racist. It's just it's just the white ones suck. You know what I mean? But let's see. On that note, so let's see here. What else do we got on the docket? Oh yeah, let's go back to Doom a little bit. What would you say would be your most memorable moment in the Doom?
Memorable moment. Okay, that's easy. So I was playing Brutal Doom V19, the last generation of Brutal Doom at this point. And you know, it's the moment when I really earned my stripes as a sergeant in the world of Doom.
Okay.
Because I believe we were on level 28 of TNT Evolution in Final Doom. Now that's this level where you start on this kind of T bridge. Okay. That's the way it starts. So there's 4 different paths. A lot of them will lead to you being fucked. and what's worse is if you fall off this bridge, there's these lava pits, and that's all there is offline. And then there's like this teleporter to get out in case you fall down. And but the shitty thing is online, they put a cyber demon in each one of these pits, so it's so easy to get fucked right there. So it gets crazy. It gets crazy as shit real fast. And my most glorious moment was, okay, we all got to this level and we all had, you know, plenty of guns and shit, and we had 5 lives because it was Brutal Doom. No, that seems like a bit much for me, but you know.
Truly.
But the thing is, there was like a bunch of us. There was like 5 of us, 5 Space Marines fighting, and we all died 5 times on that level. It was crazy. And so we lost all our lives, we lost all our guns, and so we were forced into a pistol start on level 8 of TNT Evolution fucking Brutal Doom.
Oh my
you know, that was
God.
crazy shit. And so I just keep my head up, and we all go out like we usually do, and everybody but me gets killed all 5 times. In like not even too much time, you know. And so I eventually find this route where I find the plasma rifle, and that was a lifesaver.
Right.
So I find the plasma rifle and I start to take control of the level, and it took a long time, but I beat almost the entire level all by myself.
Yes.
You know, I really earned my stripes, man. That was my proudest moment. Like, all these other guys were trying and they all failed, and I survived virtually by myself. I killed all those demons, and it took a long time, but I found my way through the level on a fucking pistol start, and I beat it. I was the one who got us to the next level.
That's awesome. I wondered, like, where did your skills come from? But you obviously played a lot of Doom. And I think
paid my dues.
You've definitely played your dues, and it shows, my man. So I got one last question for you, and I'm going to do this for all you nerdy fans out there. And obviously, if you're watching this, you got to be somewhat of a nerd. I hope I don't offend, but I consider myself a nerd. Andy, you consider yourself a nerd?
Oh, sure.
All right.
Sure. I mean, it depends on what your definition of nerd is. I play a shit ton of video games. I collect G.I. Joes. In some manner of speaking, I collect the G.I. Joe comic books, or at least the ones that come with Joes.
See, there you
every once in
go.
a while they'll do a deal.
So in the comments, everyone, let me know whether you think Andy is a nerd or not. I just want to know what you guys think. But my last question for you, Sergeant Savage. Are you excited about the new Star Wars movie?
You know, I haven't really put a lot of thought into it, but the thing is, yeah, basically, I love Star Wars. I always have, and I probably always will. And, you know, I would definitely like to see it. I don't think I'm going to get out to see it in theaters, but I definitely want to see it. I definitely don't want any spoilers about it. I'm trying to keep away from them. I don't even watch the commercial. And I definitely want to see it, man. I definitely want to see it.
That's cool, man. What do you think about J.J. Abrams and the whole, you know, Disney thing?
Oh, let's see. I don't know. It's kind of a hard call. I don't think Disney has really interfered in the process of Star Wars in a negative way. I don't really know what to say about J.J. Abrams. I don't want to make a positive or negative judgment about him, just because I'm not really familiar with his work. Like, I didn't watch Fringe and a lot of those. I don't know if I've even seen anything by him, but I have nothing against the guy. I'm sure he probably did a great job. A lot of my friends say that it was good, that who've seen it, you know. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, that is awesome. And Sergeant Savage, aka Andy, it was great talking to you, man. And you know, I feel like I got to know you a little bit better as well. For all of you out there that don't know, me and Andy met on Facebook, and he was watching my videos and expressed interest in playing along on some of these Let's Plays, and, you know, I went with it. He's been my solid rock co-host for this Valhalla Game Plays, and I feel has, made this exponentially better. So thank you, Andy. Thank you for joining me today for this little interview, IDDQ&A, if you will. And we'll see you. We will see you next time for another installment of Valhalla Game Plays. Take it easy.
Well, thank you for having me, Miles, man. It's been great to talk, and I'm just glad that I could do this with you, man. Thank you. Absolutely,
man. Again, it's a pleasure having you on board, and we'll be doing some stuff very soon, of course. Anyways, guys, take care, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.